Faustian pack, Audrey. Do you know anything about that?
Yes.
We'll see what Caro has to say, and then
Okay.
you can join or change your mind or say or have your say, basically. Caro, you were going to talk about the Faustian pact.
Well, what I said, what I know about Faustian Pact is like it's a kind of agreement in which one person does something immoral or not near to his or her moral in exchange of getting something he or she desires a lot. And well, he or she has to pay the consequences in the future.
Do you know where it come from? I mean, where the name of these concepts come from? Faustian pact. I don't know if she does. No. Abril, how about you? Do you know?
Yes, it's based on a German story by Goethe, where Faust, I think that it's the name of the character, who makes a deal to be more intelligent.
He makes a deal with the devil, that actually that's not the name the devil receives. He has another funny name, which is called, do you know?
No, I don't know. I don't like the things, but I knew something about the story, but no.
He was called Mephistopheles, at least that's the way you write it down. I don't know if the German pronunciation or English pronunciation of that would be like that, but it's Mephistopheles, at least in Spanish. Mephisto. Yeah, it's a nice story. It's a good book, a bit heavy at times, but I liked it. I read it when I was young. I did many things when I was young, and now I'm not young anymore. Anyway, Abril, anything else you would like to say about Audrey 2, about Tui? Como le dice, sorry, the way Seema refers to the plant, kindly, lovingly, friendly.
Yes, I think that the plant represents this kind of the trickster of the story, some kind of Rumpelstiltskin, or a genius who offers to do a deal in exchange for something that it's success, money, or something like that, but you have to do something that it's not okay, and it will bring consequences.
As Caro was saying, it always has to do with some immoral action or act. Yes, very well, very well. Roy's back. Good. Sole, anything else?
Yes, sorry, my computer froze. I don't know what happened, so I'm with my cell phone. Sorry.
I suppose something like that happened because you were using a different device. Sole.
Well, I didn't know about the Faustian Pact, so thank you. Now I know something new. So I searched.
Excellent.
The internet, and well, it has some relationship, about the plant, and I think that the plant, as I don't know, one of the girls mentioned, that the plant, it is something that makes the characters move on. Yes, in one point. And on the other hand, the plant, I think that shows the shadows of the characters, the
dark side.
Ambitions, that kind of things that, well, possession, money, that kind of things, fame, to become famous, to have money, and what kind of things, and this pact, what kind of things or what things can we do to get that ambitions, you know? So, well, it is
In this case,
something.
the main character seems to have no limits because he actually kills a person. Well, he helps the person die actually because Oren died in a very stupid way. But I mean, he was there and then he chopped him to pieces, which is something, you know, even further. It becomes, it's like almost taken from a zombies movie, you know. But yes, he goes to those lengths actually.
Yeah, well, yes, definitely. So, well, I think that the plant is a kind of link, you know. I don't know how to say, between, well, something that is something that it's on the edge, you know, it's on the border, you know. Well, till when or till where can I go to get what can I what I want, for example, or what is the best, no? What is the best for me? What is the best for you? You know, it's about, I think about more, I don't know, maybe philosophical. It's about the limit, now mind limits, you know. It's like, for example, when Seymour feeds the plant, it's like, well, it's like I am feeding you with my blood. It's heavy to think about that, you know, and well, and so on.
Up to there, it's like, okay, I'm hurting myself, but fine. I mean, it's like I'm doing it. It's my decision. I'm hurting nobody but myself. But then, yeah, he goes to that. He crosses the line. Julie.
Yeah, that's the point.
He does cross the line. Yes, Julie.
I was going to say that I haven't read Fausto either. I didn't know about the Faustian Pact. I imagine it was something similar to Dorian Gray, because it's also an exchange of a soul against something. But I think, and I'm gonna relate it to Dorian Gray and not Fausto because I haven't read it, but like Dorian, Seymour doesn't regret having killed. He doesn't regret feeding the plant. He regrets that it got out of hand, but he doesn't regret what he's done. He doesn't regret that he got where he is now. He, in fact, the last line, one of the last line, not the last line, he's like, oh, they're gonna bring money. Let's get away from the plant, take the money the next day and leave. He doesn't regret anything. So he's totally okay with everything he did and the exchange with the plant.
Yes, totally. Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought about that, but it's true. He never mentions Oring again. Then Mr. Merschnix, you know, has his own, you know, fate in the plant. But it's true that he never goes back to, oh, I shouldn't have, you know, fed Oring to Audrey too. He never regrets that. I hadn't thought about that. You know, there is a whole different ending for this movie. I don't know if you have read about that or if you have actually watched the alternative ending. Sole has. Have you watched it all?
Yes. To refresh the plot, I read that it has another ending. I don't know if it is in the movie, but I read.
It's not, but it is easily available on YouTube. It's like 20 or 25 minutes longer, and it's a whole different ending. I mean, I don't know what you feel about the ending of the movie, with the plant being, you know, electrocuted, and them being, you know, happily, they are let gone. Happily, you know, continue with their lives. Something that does not happen in the alternative ending, which resembles more of something coming out of Godzilla movie. or in the alternative ending, you have Audrey 2 becoming a monster. Like, I mean, the final scene is Audrey 2 on top of the Statue of Liberty, so that you have an idea. But it's really cool, and they spent millions on that ending. The thing was that they tried it with one of these testing audience, and they didn't like it very much, so they changed it. The directors decided to change it, and they went for this more subtle, well, not subtle, more simple in a way, ending, probably more morally correct, I suppose. Oh, by the way, Audrey, the girl, she dies in the alternative ending. Julie, yeah, many people didn't like it because of that.
I didn't know it had an alternative ending, but I did, now that I watched it again, when the plant grabs Audrey before eating it, it bears a resemblance to King Kong when taking the woman up the Empire State Building. And it's funny that the Black Lagoon is mentioned in the song because the Black Lagoon is also a movie about this monster that steals a woman. It's essentially King Kong, but in the 1930s, I think. And it also has that scene of the monster having the woman up in this sort of big place, not a massive building, but yes, it's interesting, all of these parallels in the classic monster story, because stories keep repeating themselves in different settings and with different characters, but essentially the blueprint tends to be the same.
In a way, they are. Actually, I believe that in the Black Lagoon, the monster also takes the girl. I don't know if he takes it into the lagoon, but he takes the girl somewhere. Don't remember where. And yeah, that's actually included in the lyrics. For that reason itself, the plant says that it doesn't come from Black Lagoon. You can keep the thing. You know, have you watched the movie The Thing? Wonderful movie. A bit bizarre. Science fiction. Oh, you haven't? I love that movie. 1980. Well, it's like an alien in the Antarctica, and they go there and then they have to fight. Well, it's quite simple, but if you enjoy science fiction, I really recommend watching it, especially I would almost say lo-fi science fiction, because the special effects are really limited. It's John Carpenter's masterpiece, in my opinion. Well, the plan says it doesn't come from the Black Lagoon, as a reference to that movie, which I believe is from the late 40s or early 50s, actually, Julie, because that was the time when science fiction became a thing. You could keep The Thing, that's the movie. Keep the clown. I mean, Pennywise, it's not a clown, it's a monster. Or keep the creature. I don't remember where the creature was from. But the point is that it's all a reference to old horror movies or monster movies. And the plan says, I'm better than those. I'm myself. I'm a green, mean mother from outer space, and I'm bad. I really like this villain. I really like Audrey too. But Audrey the First has actually nothing to do with Audrey 2. It's a completely different character. They also said, talking about the music and the soundtrack, that probably the song that could have been a hit, but wasn't, a radio hit at least, was this Suddenly Simmer. It's really cheesy, I know, it's really corny. It's a bit like, come on. But she actually sings the part. I mean, this actress that you probably never saw again in any other movie, she actually sung her parts in the songs. She's really good. She's a wonderful singer, actually. And it was one of the few cases in which the film actress also played the play actress or the theater actress. She also played Audrey in theater for a while. But anyway.
I have a question.
Yes.
Was she faking her voice? Was she faking it? The accent?
I suppose she did a little bit, that she, exaggerated it. They're speaking like this. I suppose it was a little bit exaggerated. I don't know how much, because I haven't actually listened to outside from this film. I suppose she did.
Because I was trying to compare her when she was singing when she was talking, but she was singing similarly. So I didn't know. I don't know
Probably,
if she was faking or not.
Probably she stayed on character while she was singing, you know, trying to
Maybe.
be that Audrey all the time. But when she breaks into that high note, so and that vibrato she uses with her, I mean,
It's
it's really
amazing.
incredible. She's amazing. She's an amazing
It's
singer.
amazing.
Is Audrey a typical female character? Is she a typically female character? By the way, we haven't mentioned the setting of the movie. It's supposed to be set in the 60s. All the movies from the 80s, yes, but the historical setting is meant to be the 60s. Is she a typical female 60s character? Why or why not? And how relevant is her presence for the development of the plot? Who wants to go first? Go on, girls. You love talking and you should do so. Especially because if you don't, I'll start talking and I haven't paid for this, you have. So, yes, go on. Oops. So, yes. She actually never actually played any other role on Hollywood. I don't know why. I believe she starred in some series, a couple of characters, but never again in Hollywood. She's not a special looking character. Anyway.
Well, I don't know about the actress. I've never seen her in anything else, and I also don't recognize her in the Broadway sphere either. But I don't think she's a typical female character because or maybe she is, depends on the context. If we look at it in the modern if we look at it through a 2024 lens, she's not as typical, but she isn't as typical in the 80s either, because she is supposed to be, you know, Seymour's prize, but at the same time, she's a very complex female character for the 80s. She is in a terrible relationship that she wants to leave, but doesn't know how. And she also it reveals herself to have extremely low self-esteem. So we never really know if she actually likes Seymour because she likes him or because she just wants someone to fawn over her and love her. And I think that was very nuanced in the 80s because yeah, I don't think there was much complexity in characters in the 80s. It was much more about, okay, let's have people relate. It's the Revenge of the Nerds time and it's the Sylvester Stallone time. Let's typecast everyone. But all of these characters have sort of more complex arcs, I think.
Yeah, in a way she does. Although she does need Seymour's actions or Seymour's deeds to actually get away from that relationship. Otherwise, probably she wouldn't have. We don't know what would have happened eventually with that relationship she had with the dentist, with Orin. But Seymour kind of becomes the knight in shining armor for her, accidentally perhaps, but in a way the movie does seem to present Seymour as his savior, her savior, sorry. What do you think? Ro, Sole, Caro, Abril.
It's kind of ironic that how does she dress with high heels, tight dresses, a lot of makeup. Like she has a lot of self-esteem, but then she pictures herself with Seymour in another type of costume, like a tutu, very traditional in the 60s. So that's kind of ironic, I think. But well, I think that's what she wanted versus what she was like at the beginning of the movie. but I think that's interesting.
Her appearance is a good point to be made, actually. She does wear a lot of makeup, as she was, as Audrey was saying. She does wear revealing dresses. Why do you think she does? Why do you think she does that?
Maybe to cut attention, maybe to keep her boyfriend, but I think she's attracting the wrong people.
Yeah, yeah. At least one of them, definitely. What do you think, Sole, Caro, Abril?
I think that Audrey, while I was watching the movie, she was singing one of the songs about Seymour, that maybe she shows in the movie the dream of a typical American housewife, you know?
Typically, yes, the American life. That's a perfect American dream. Yeah.
Yeah, the dream, the Audrey's dream reminds me to that stereotype. I think at that times,
Yes.
you know, a beautiful house with a garden, a husband, you know, and with the, I don't know, the showroom about bowls. I don't know how to say, like the
Yes.
like the Tupperware meeting.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely.
You know,
The
in
Tupperware
a part
meeting.
of the song,
Yeah.
in a part
Yes.
of the song, she shows that watering plants and a Tupperware meeting behind her. And I think that is the thing that the movie shows about that character, you know, that is the dream. And is a woman who has no it had she had a heavy, I don't know how to say, a suffering past, and with the present, well, in a moment, she told that he knew his boyfriend in a club, I think. So, well, the dream is to move on to a beautiful home and to be a housewife.
The housewife. That was
You
a
know,
perfect
that
dream.
is the typical thing that it caught my attention.
That would be the typical American dream in the 60s, 50s. Yeah, I mean, those times. And perhaps what I was asking before, she dresses and looks the way she does because she was trying to. Actually, we have a picture of on the extreme right corner. We have a picture of her in that dress in that beautiful house. I was saying that perhaps she looks the way she does because she's trying to match that female stereotype. Actually, a little bit like Marilyn Monroe, you know, in the 50s.
Yeah,
Blonde, lots
definitely.
of makeup with really, you know, wearing those dresses with cleavages and everything. So perhaps she's just trying to be the stereotype of a single attractive woman. And then she has that stereotype of a housewife, American housewife. Caro, Abril, anything else you would like to add about Audrey?
Well,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Go on.
No, you first and then me.
Caro.
Okay. Well, I think it's it's a contradiction in her personality or inside her because on one hand she's grateful, I think, with Mr. Orin to having chosen her as a girlfriend,
No.
and put her in a position in society.
Yeah.
But
Because she was dating a professional. She said, "Oh, my boyfriend is a
yes,
professional." Yeah.
doctor, yes.
A doctor, yeah.
He, Mr. Oring, took out or took her out from the night, no, from the, because I think she used to work in a nightclub.
Yeah, something like that. She does mention something like that, yeah.
Yes, so this is one, I think, a feeling she has, but on the other side, she feel well. She doesn't want him to hurt her by hitting, but she accepts this as a kind of rule to be with him, I think.
The price.
Yes, the price. The Faustian Pact in
a way you could say that.
in a way. And I agree with Julie that I don't know if she really loves Seymour, or she accepts him because she is forcing herself to love him because he loves her, and he's a nice person, so it's difficult, but she definitely has a low self-esteem, and she feels guilty about everything. Everything. Also, she feels guilty in some aspect about her boyfriend's death, and she's nothing to do with his death.
Yeah, she can't feeling guilty about everything, as she was saying. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Avril.
Yes, I agree with what all the girls said. I think that she is a bit of she has some kind of contradiction as a character, because if you see that she has revealing dress and she dressed like a femme fatale, but doesn't act like one. She looks more like a damsel in distress, I think it's how you call her. But she doesn't dream to be that. And I really like her song because in Somewhere That's Green, although she wants a husband or to be a housewife, she talks about electronic gadgets like washing machine, the ironing, and and although maybe she doesn't love Seymour, I think that they are going to be okay because both of them want to settle down. That's it. So
they both need someone okay with them, someone that's at least nice. And yes, Seymour is a nice person. He killed a couple of people, but he's a nice person in general. Apart from that little detail, he seems to be a nice person, and he could probably be a nice couple for Audrey. What did I do here? Oh, yes, I was playing with that effect. Now I realized I forgot to take it to eliminate it. I don't like it. I'm sorry. That's really annoying. But basically, this has to do with Skid Row. We have 10 minutes left. If we run out of time, we're going to meet for a couple of extra minutes anyway, in case we don't get to talk about the last two questions. How does Skid Row, this place, shape its inhabitants' personalities? What did this population seem to have in common? We kind of talked about this. And what do the girls group represent for the neighborhoods? These three girls, I don't remember her names, but I think, and the director also said that they are the elegant elements in the movie. They needed those girls to be singing and to be doing what they did because they provided elegance to the film. I totally agree with him. I think they're wonderful singers. So what do they have in common? What do the girls represent? And how does Skid Row, blah, 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 blah. Go on, girls. Downtown where the folks are broke. This is like the big moment in on theater, I suppose. I haven't watched the play, but I have watched a couple of videos. And this is like everybody comes out, you know, and they go, oh, Skid Row, and they all singing all together in perfect synchrony. So,
well, I think that Skid Row, well, is a poor place, a dirty place, a dark place, and I think it shapes its inhabitants as sad or and hopeless people.
you did that
But
would be crazy.
Everybody wants to go away from there, but at the same time, I think they feel they are stuck there, and well, hopeless. And they know they won't be able to escape from there, and I think the group of girls who are singing represent the internal thoughts of the inhabitants, the thoughts or the desires they want to tell, but they don't dare to speak or to talk about.
They actually start the movie, you know, I mean, that little shop, that's when the movie starts with them. They come out from these alley, just, you know, strolling, and that's how they present to us the neighborhood, the town. Yes, Julie, Sole, Ro, Abril, feel free.
I think the girls, well, I don't think they represent the Greek chorus, which in the Greek plays was sort of the narrator, and it is a very, I don't know, whatever the word, I can't think of the word, but it's a device very utilized in musical theater to have these characters that are unnamed but help with the narration, as it would in a book, to have the prose. But in the play, you don't have prose. So you get this explanation and this context and this extra internal thought of the characters through the Greek chorus. And so these girls, I think they're the Greek chorus. And yeah, Skid Row is the bad place where everyone wants to get away. And I think that's where Audrey too gets them, like all of their exchanges with the plant are through, well, let's get out of here some way, you know, through fame, money, or just ending a bad relationship. And yes, that's
Probably Audrey too wouldn't have been so influential in a different community, you know, if these had been Beverly Hills, probably. Then, but I don't know. I mean, ambition can be shaped in any way. So if it's not money, it would be something else. Right. Sole, Abril, Ro. Yes, that.
I think I agree with Julie. The girls are the storytellers of this movie, and they are dressed like bright to stand out from that place, to be differentiated from that dark place, gray place. So.
Yeah, absolutely. They always stand out with their dresses, colorful dresses, totally dressed like a 60s girls group, especially from Motown, if you know that type of music, which was really, 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 really big in the United States in the 60s. Well, they are dressed like those groups. And yeah, at the beginning, they even kind of spoil what's going to happen in the story, you know, because at one point they are behind Mr. Mushnick and saying, something's gonna get you, you know, telling on his back that he's going to die, basically. Obviously, we don't know that at the beginning of the movie, but in a way, they are kind of anticipating the events. Sole, Abril, anything else, or shall we pass on to our last question?
I think I agree with what Julie said, that they are like the Greek, I don't know, I thought they were the Greek muses, the ones that are in the beginning of Hercules, but yes,
well,
they
I'm sorry, I'm not an expert on Greek mythology or Greek literature, but I suppose the Greek muses could actually take the same place as Julie was saying of these Greek chorus. So I think it's just the same. I think.
Yes, I am not sure either. And well, the first song reminded me a lot of Los Miserables, because you can hear people talking about poverty and the sadness that it brings. So yes.
Yeah, I think I even read a review which kind of compared it to Les Miserables, or however you pronounce it. And yes, it also said that they were, you know, down in the dirt and they were trying to get out from Skid Row. Skid Row. There's actually a town named Skid Row in most cities, actually. LA, Los Angeles has a really big one. Although this one looks more like New York. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they meant to do that. Also made musical in the 80s. Yes, I'm not sure we're going to work on that. But if we do, we will probably have Julie in here. I hope so.
It's a wonderful movie.
Is it?
Yes, it's very long, like 3 hours, but it's wonderful.
I don't mind long, you know, movies, but some people do. So I'm going to think about it, because some people might feel, you know, like 3 hours, I'm not going to watch it. So I don't want to make anyone feel bored again. So anything else, or shall we pass on to our last question? Let's pass on to our last question, Sole, and you'll be the first if you want to speak about the moral in the movie. Is ambition a thing in the movie? Yes, obviously it is. We talked about that. Does it influence the decisions characters take? Another bit obvious question. Is there any positive value exhibited by any of the main characters? That's something we haven't talked about, although we did say Seymour was nice. That was it. Are you familiar? I repeated that question? Why did I include that question here with the false impact? I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry about that. It looks like I really wanted you to know about the forced impact. Well, at least some of you got to investigate about that. So is ambition a thing in the movie?